What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're here at Lake Julian Disc Golf Course, and this is a really fun one today because it's another disc review. It's a mid-range. We're reviewing the Peach. Now, I've already thrown the Peach. I already know how it flies. I've already reviewed the Peach. If you go way back into the beginning of this year, the video is somewhere back there, but we're testing it out in a slightly different plastic. And if you know anything about what Clash has been doing, they've been really stepping up their game on plastics, on trying out new different things. And we don't just have the Steady Peach, we have the Steady Ring Peach. So pretty, feels amazing. It almost feels because I've thrown this one for a little while, this one is going to feel a little bit different, but it almost feels more premium. Like just a touch slicker, but it still has the same amount of grip. It just feels more polished. And let's see how it flies. Now, I love the Peach. It's a 4-speed, but it's still in mid-range. It's gonna give you a lot of really good controllable distance if you're throwing pretty slow. And if you're powering up on it, it's gonna give you these really nice controllable turnovers. And I like that the Peach is a -2-1. If you go with a normal flippy mid-range, a lot of times they're going to be so flippy that they're only going to do one thing. They're only going to flip. However, with the Peach, it's a very versatile mid-range. It's only a 4-speed, so you can throw it like it's a putter shot and get the really straight, glidey type of putter throws. You can power up on it and get it to go so extremely far. And yeah, it's a great disc. I'm going to throw these all off the first tee here on hole number 12. I'm gonna start with this one that's been in my bag. This one's only been thrown 10 to 15 times, so it's still pretty new. And this is brand new. They just got the new Clash plastic in at another round Asheville. It feels amazing. It looks so pretty. Look at those cool little swirls. And I'm gonna go pink, blue, and then orange sherbet. I know it's a peach, but it definitely looks like it's some kind of orange vanilla something. So just a baby hyzer, but I'm gonna throw it with my mid-range grip, which is basically most of the pressure is placed on these two fingers. And what that's going to do is it's going to throw it just a touch nose up. So if I throw it on a baby hyzer, a touch nose up, it should just flip up to flat and ride really far, maybe a little bit of a finish. Let's see how it flies. Little bit of a flip up. Now let's go this one. This one definitely seems a little more overstable. In the times that I've thrown it next to the pink one, it seems just a touch more stable, but that's probably because it's newer. And now let's see what kind of flight we get from this one. Probably the same flight. It's probably not going to be too very dissimilar because I'm throwing it soft and on hyzer and nose up. So they're probably all going to fly very similar. Kind of stuck onto my finger. That was weird, but it flipped up about the same. So I'm gonna guess it would have finished about the same if I didn't just completely grip lock it straight to the right. Let's go throw some more. I'm gonna have so much fun. And by the end of the video, we're definitely gonna see if we can get some distance rips out of that disc. There's a bit of a baby headwind. It's about 210 feet. You can see the basket. Now let's see if we can put the disc in the basket. We go blue, and then orange sherbet, and then pink. Just do kind of a rotating tee box order. Definitely pulled that. I need to make sure that I don't pull these next two. So it's gonna hold really, really straight for you. If you're not throwing it max power, if you give it just a touch of that like mid-range nose up, just a baby hyzer, it's gonna flip up to flat and fly it really, really straight. You can see how that one's been used a little bit. Got a little bit more turn out of it. Just a touch more turn, but they basically flew almost identical. Once they get to that flat point on that mid-range release, they're gonna fly very true to their line. They're gonna be amazing. What happens if you try to power up on them though? This one's a little farther. See if we can, gonna rip them a little bit harder, but still just a touch of hyzer on the release. Still that mid-range release, that mid-range grip. And let's see if they flip up and drift a little bit, or if it just kind of flips up and holds really true. Yeah, flip up and hold really straight. You can tell that one's a little bit newer or a little bit older. Well, gonna go have to fish that one out. But what I will say is that steady ring does seem to just have a touch more stability. Just a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit, which means on those windier days or into a headwind, or just if I need to really pump into one, it's not gonna flip nearly as much for me. All right, that was a long walk. Hole number 7. Gonna switch from the mid-range grip to more of the true power grip. I'm gripping it much more forward on my hand, which means I can bring my thumb further back, which is gonna make it more nose down. Might still be a touch nose up, but for the most part it's flat, maybe a touch nose down. I'm gonna pump these all on some hyzer, just a touch of hyzer, trust them towards the left wall, and then let them drift over to the right off of the trees. Okay, I think I just turned that out of my hand. That wasn't good. But as we saw on hole, well, basically every hole, that one's gonna be a touch flippier just because it is used. So let's see how this one flies, and then we'll compare it. Hopefully I can get 2 good rips with both of these. See, it's such a beautiful disc. You're not gonna get that with a lot of other 4-speeds. Maybe the Comet, but with the Comet, it seems to be a little bit too unpredictable. Sometimes you get those nice little turn drift flights. Sometimes it just rolls, and sometimes it's overstable. So it's kind of toss up in the air with the Comet. The Peach seems to be very consistent, and as long as I make sure that I'm throwing the grip that my head thinks that I'm throwing, almost every single time, beautiful, beautiful peachy lines. So the pink one and the orange one, I definitely turned a little bit out of my hand. They were a touch too flat, and so they just kind of burned over to the right. The blue one is actually the flight that I'm expecting to get out of a peach when I throw it on a drive like this. Beautiful, that long, slow, just slowly drifting over and fading. It's so pretty, it's so good. Now I just need to hit that line, hit that release with the orange one so we can get more of a comparison. I think we're about to have another really long walk because I think we're going to go to 16. I tossed the pink one. Well, I tossed all 3 of them off. Short pad for hole 8. And the pink one's gone. which sucks because that was the one out of my tournament bag. So I want it back. If anyone finds it, it's got my number in it. Just text me. I want that one back. But I guess the rest of this video is figuring out which one of these is going to go in my tournament bag, unless I can find the pink one. So blue is off first. This is kind of going to be the distance drive hole right here. We have a tailwind, so these discs are going to push pretty far. So just a touch of hyzer, rip them hard, and see if I can park the basket again. Let's see if the ring gives it any extra distance or extra glide. Not that they say that it does, but sometimes just kind of switching up your plastics will make them fly slightly differently. It flipped up, but it never flipped. It got to flat. Wow. Now, to be fair, that might have been a touch more hyzer than the other one had been on. But it's a noticeably more stable. Not a lot, but enough to notice. I kind of like that. I'm going to throw out for one more hole. Let's go to 18 and see if we can reach the Mando sign. As far as distance driving goes, though, she's a little further away than the steady. Probably has to do with that tiny little bit of extra glide that the normal steady plastic got. Just as it flipped up to flat and then turned just a little bit, it gave it that extra like 5 feet of distance. Oh, these are gonna be so much fun on 18. So the difference between steady plastic and steady ring plastic feels very similar to the difference between like S-Line versus Horizon for Discmania. The Horizon isn't more stable, it just doesn't have the flip at the beginning of its flight. So they both have the same amount of fade, but the steady is going to flip just a touch more than the steady ring. That being said, I think I'm gonna stick to steady for right now because that was what was in my bag. So we're gonna put this one right back into my bag when we get back to the car. Hopefully I can find the pink one at some point in time because I do want that disc back. But I'm gonna keep throwing this peach because one, it's absolutely gorgeous, and two, did you see the way that it flies? It's still a really good disc. It's not the exact specifications that I'm looking for. It's not exactly the way that my other peach flew, but I'm sure it could get there, and I'm sure the more that I throw with it, the more comfortable I'll get with it. I'm just a little bit more comfortable to this flip point than this flip point right now. So we're gonna throw both of them, see how far we can get them to go. Hopefully we can reach the Mando sign, and yeah, orange is up first. That's an easy 4. And I don't mean for the score, I mean 400. That was a bomb. A little bit lower, so a little bit shorter. But steady's going right back into my bag. Steady ring is going to stay in my car because I'm definitely going to be playing some rounds with it. Maybe use some like random draw doubles just to get used to the disc, because I think I'm really going to like that plastic. If you enjoy content like this, please make sure to like the video. If you want to see new stuff, comment that down below. Make sure to subscribe for all these subscriber-only giveaways, and go check out Another Round Asheville. They just got steady ring plastic. They have cinnamons, cookies, peaches, popcorns. They've even got some Tone salts, I think they have Tone cookies as well. They just got a new restock in, some really cool discs. Make sure you check them out. And until next time, see you out on the course.